Good afternoon and welcome to OmniDog's Vault, where we are having the show OmniDog and OmniCat comic book review show. And of course, my co-hostess with the mostest, OmniCat.
I'm here. It's good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I have the show is late today. I said it was going to be at 4 o'clock, and I just got some things mixed up. And Nman40 is in the chat, and so a lot of people are in the chat. Crazy Jane calling us omnimals. Omnimals. That's cool.
Yeah, nice.
Kenny Crayley, Joe Goose. So the show's late, and I really didn't give it any thought. I asked Kristen if it was okay if we could do it a little bit later, and she said fine. And then I get a YouTube comment from Nman40 who said, I thought the show was at 4 o'clock today. Are you not doing a show? And I thought to myself, what the? I am not taking this seriously enough. If I have one fan who set their clock to watch this show and I let that fan down, I am not doing a good job as a YouTube channel person. So I apologize, Nman40. I apologize to anybody else who was thinking I was going to be doing this at 4. I, of course, apologize to Kristen earlier, but I'll make a public apology to you.
I'm good.
But it's important for, if I say I'm going to be doing it at a certain hour, I need to hit that hour now. It now shows me that Nman40 sort of showed me the light a little bit. He didn't call me out or anything. He just said, "Oh, I thought you were doing a show today," and I was like, "This guy's nice enough to want to watch my show, and I'm not hitting the time post properly. That's ridiculous." So, Nman40, I'm sorry, and I also am sorry for calling you that bad word 3 months ago on Omni Bros when I had a public meltdown. So, Nman40, you are okay in my book, and I genuinely apologize for not having the show on time. That won't happen again.
Well, I will say, life happens. I think everyone watching understands that. You could put up one of those messages from your channel, and it'll appear in everyone's feed, and you could say, "Hey, this is going to be like an hour late." So just in the future, that's something you can.
Now?
I'll teach you later. But you can communicate messages, just text messages to your subscribers. And it'll pop up and it'll show them whatever you said. So you can be like, "Hey, this is actually going to be on at like 5 today."
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. See, Maddie and I, for the Fangirl show, because we have to move around stuff sometimes, we'll usually let people know on that show. But if we have to move it after that, we're like, just check our Twitter. I know you're not a Twitter guy. So your other alternative is there is a system through YouTube you can use.
Oh,
we'll go through that later. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Nathan Bronars loves your... Where's my mouse? Loves your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love
DuckTales.
DuckTales. It's a good one.
Hayden McGee. Day 3 of the 4-night event. Kristen,
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
Well, Thursday I was on Omni Bros.
Yes.
With you and Riley and Gio and Maddie. Friday morning we did a Fangirls on the Omnibus Collectors Network. So we talked about manga. You can check that out if you'd like. I know Jess won't, but it's okay. I hated one of them, so you could see me just go off on one.
Wow.
Yeah. And I usually don't hate stuff. You know that. And then today, and then tomorrow night on the Omnibus Collectors Network, Maddie and I on Fangirls Assemble will be talking about She-Hulk by John Byrne.
Oh.
So that is the 4-night. Yeah, there's a lot of shows.
Oh, yeah, that is. Oh, what? I just heard you say Saturday, and I was going by when you did the video on July 4th. Oh my gosh, everything I say everything's the same. No, you didn't. N-Man 40, you didn't create a commotion. You showed me how important it was for me to be on time. You did me a favor. I appreciate it. You showed me how important it was to be on time, and so you did me a favor, really, and I mean it sincerely. You didn't do anything wrong. You did everything right. You showed me that I have fans that want to watch Kristen and I review books, and I can't not be on time. That also is the word late. Not be on time, late. That could replace that word, whole sentence. They were just saying late. Okay, now I'm just out of my mind. And Kristen also wanted to do a little Q&A today, which I will retroactively put in the description box. So we can do Q&A all throughout the chat. You can ask us questions repeatedly whenever you want. Like right now, if you have a question for Kristen or a question for me or a thought you want to get out there, feel free to just post it. And let's see, Hayden McGee. Honestly, the way to get Jess into manga is the magical girls genre.
You do like magic and girls. It's true.
That is true.
Those are your things.
Yeah, he has a point. The problem I have is it's difficult for me to read backwards, and I haven't just found. I mean, the Junji Ito stories I've read. It's hard for me to really love those since one of them almost made me throw up. So I just haven't found. I've done enough reading to know that I think that's the Japanese style of writing just doesn't click with me. Not the backwards thing, but the way they tell a story. Because I tried reading Monster and I tried reading Lone Wolf and Cub, and that reads Western style, and I still didn't enjoy it really. I think
the things you've picked up though are a weird medley of stuff, like Food Wars. You never should have picked up ever. There's some other things where I'm like, why would you even do that?
That was sent to me as by a fan, so I said,
well, you can't judge any manga from Food Wars. That's how I feel, at least. Don't do that.
Jesse, say what? A true punk rocker always keeps his fans waiting.
Yeah.
Well, got a good point there. Ride Chancellor says, first question, Kristen, you are dope and tight and just pretty cool. Want to get married? She's already married, dude.
Sorry, I'm married.
Sorry, Ride.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. Aiku, you are correct. It was Tolga that sent me Food Wars. He found me some other. What did he find me? This was 2 years ago. It was actually cheaper for him to find the books in Europe with the shipping and send it to me than for me to buy the books here. But he tucked Food Wars in there. But I can't remember what the books were. But yeah, it was Tolga, who I haven't heard from in a while. I hope everything's going okay with him. I haven't heard or seen Tolga at all.
I heard the hype from Food Wars, and I got the first volume, and I promptly got rid of the first volume. So I'll never read that series. No, thank you. Tim V has it right, though. He hates sports and loves sports manga. 1,000%. That's me, too. I hate sports. Sports manga is awesome.
I think Riley is that same way. Riley has a huge collection of sports manga.
It's good. But I'd say so is sports comics. Like I told you before, I think you would like The Avant-Gardes, which is a Boom series about this girl basketball team. And it's awesome. I don't care about basketball. It's so good.
Oh, The Avant-Gardes.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it.
Spoke to Tolga today. He's been laying low a bit, organizing his collections, helping his son with stuff. Well, Aiku, please send my regards to Tolga, and that we miss him, and we hope everything's going all right with him. He's a good commenter. Okay, wait. Now that I asked for Q&A, we may not get to the books.
Hey, we can always do that next time, right?
Yeah.
We have to.
Boom Bam Boom. What was the first comic book that you both read that inspired a lifelong passion for comic books? Thank you. Love your channel. Hey, love you. Thank you, Boom Bam Boom. The first comic book that you both read that inspired a lifelong passion for comic books.
That's so long ago. Well, because I know I was given stuff as a kid. I don't know that I remember that specific stuff. What comes to mind for me is when I got into going to the comic shop every week with my dad. I was a teenager. I loved Buffy. Buffy was still on air, and I wanted to collect all the Buffy comics. So that's what got me going. I was digging through back issues. I was trying to get them all. But the one as a teenager that I remember getting every week on my own was a book called Emo Boy. And it was an indie book. Yeah, it was black and white, and this kid with the swoopy hair and the big glasses. There were tons of like jokes about emo bands and stuff. Like, it was really silly and over the top, as far as I can remember. But I really liked it, and that got me into like not mainstream stuff too.
Okay.
But I'm sure there was stuff before that, like Toy Story comics and Disney stuff when I was a kid.
Yeah. But that's a good question. Bim bam bop, bim bim bap, boom bam boom. I think the one that inspired I'm similar to Kristen in that I just was reading comic books all the time from age 6 to 10. It was the Silver Age, so it was all DC at that time. But I was just sort of enjoying them. I think the book that made me a lifelong, and it has been a lifelong passion, except for like the break I took in college, was probably Green Lantern, Green Arrow number 76, where Green Arrow is shooting out the battery of Green Lanterns on number 76. That cover just knocked me out when I saw it on the newsstand. Let me get it. I have the comic still, but it's in a safe deposit box because I got it graded and I'm going to hang on to it, and I think I'm going to be buried with it. It graded out at like 8.5, which is good considering I got it when I was 11 years old. But the cover was so amazing. I thought, what is he doing on the cover, and who does he think he is shooting out Green Lantern's battery? What's going on in this comic? I was 11 years old. So I opened it up, and then it's this searing portrait of racism and poverty, and how Green Lantern hasn't really been helping everybody equally. And I was just like, whoa, I've never read anything like this before, because I had really and of course the artwork was incredible because it was by Neil Adams, Dick Giordano, but I had never read anything. This was the era I had just come off Batman, the TV show, which you guys now know as Batman 66, which as a 7-year-old, I thought I took that show seriously. It was on Wednesday and Thursday nights, and of course we had a black and white TV, and I took that show seriously. And then it went into syndication when I was 13, and I built my world around watching that first episode. I'm really rambling because I went from Green Lantern to Batman, but let me just tell you what the time period was like. I watched it when I was 13, that first show, and I was so disappointed. It was so jokey and goofy. I had never picked up on that as an 8-year-old. And as a 13-year-old, I went, my whole life has been a lie up until this point. That Batman show blows. And now I look back on it fondly, but as a 13-year-old, I was very unhappy. And so that's the time period I was coming off of. Superman Red, Superman Blue, all the Silver Age stuff that was really sort of goofy, and the Batman 66 show. And then these comics show up that deal with social issues in real life and fantastic art. That made me a comic book reader for life.
Nice. It's a good answer.
It was a little long, sorry.
I liked it.
Oh, thank you. Let's see.
I think we missed half the questions, didn't we?
What's that?
I'm going up through like the chat.
Kenny Crayley, Jess, in the mid-'80s, what was your reaction when you first heard DC Comics? This is a good question. Was going to do the big comics event, Crisis on Infinite Earths. Do you remember seeing an ad for it in the books? Good question. I do remember that. And if I recall correctly, this is the first big event in comics that had all these tie-ins to it. Like Marvel does every year now, and people were getting upset. Civil War I, Civil War II. This Crisis on Infinite Earths was a new thing because you had to buy all these tie-in issues, and besides the main story. So that means I'm picking up Blue Beetle number 32 or something, and Booster Gold 8, and I honestly, Kenny, I thought it was annoying. I was like, why do I have to buy all these extraneous books so I can get the main story? That said, I thought it was pretty amazing that they killed off who they killed off. Spoiler alert, it was Flash and Supergirl. And I understand why they thought it was necessary, but boy, I thought it was annoying having to buy all those issues. It was just, it wasn't like it is now where you have a pull box at a comic book store. I mean, to get all those issues, I really had to hunt them down I was living in Carmel at the time, so I'd have to go to a Monterey drugstore and look for them on the rack there, or a San Jose comic book shop. It was just annoying. So yeah, I don't dig event books. I never have.
It's a lot to keep track of, especially in singles. Like, at least right now we have the internet where we can be like, okay, it's this one, then this one, then this one. You were probably like trying to figure it all out back then, right? That sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had all, as far as I knew, I had all the issues, and I said, I'm not going to read anything until I get all the issues. So I get all the issues. What order do I read them in? I know number 1 Crisis, then number 2 Crisis, but where does Flash 302 fit in all this? And you're right, the internet makes it super easy to put a reading order together, but back then, I don't even know how I figured it out. I may not have even read it all. I may have just said, forget it, and just read the main issues. Let's see. Do you read Euro comics at all, Kristen?
I've read some.
Favorite Euro from Milorad Bulatovic. Bulatovic. Hi. Favorite Euro comics and thoughts on ongoing X-Men from Hickmania. That is a good question. Favorite?
Yeah, we're both like looking around like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, well, I know. And I don't know if you've read this yet. Have you read Castle in the Stars yet?
Yes, and that would probably be mine as well. Yep, I forgot about that. Yep.
Yeah, this would be my favorite Euro comic.
That's a good one.
Close to being my favorite comic, just in general.
I agree with that.
And I've only read the first Hickman hardcover that came out in December, so I haven't read any of the Dawn of X's yet. I need to do that. I loved House of X Powers of 10. I thought it was great, but I haven't followed anything after it.
There's so much going on with it.
Yeah.
I've lost track.
From Ride Chancellor, if you could pick an underground alternative comic artist to be on a Big Two book, who would it be? Underground alternative. I don't know that I am that well versed.
So I saw that question. I texted him. I was like, "What do you mean by it?" And he says, "Independent dudes." So just anyone who's not already at that level, right?
Okay.
So one of the ones he was like, Craig Thompson or whoever. I'm like, yeah, that's a good one. Actually,
yeah,
that would be cool.
Craig Thompson. Here's some of his work right here. Wait, let's take this off. This is blankets. That's not representative. Yeah, he's, of course, opening this reminds me that I need to reread it for the 50th time.
You know what? I do too.
That's a book we should read together.
We should. That would be fun.
Do a special video on it.
For sure.
Because this does deserve its own video. This is an important book, I think.
That's the book I made my dad read. When he was he still kind of is anti-black and white comics. And I was like, no, you have to read this. It's so good. You have to read this. And now, it's probably one of his favorite books. Like he loves it. So I got him into like reading more alternative kind of things with that one. And we both loved it and gushed over it.
Oh, how long ago was that?
Oh gosh, years and years ago.
Okay.
Also, here's some McCullough Craig Thompson that I wanted to grab, which is Space Dumplings. So he's just an amazing cartoonist.
Oh yeah, Space Dumplings.
Yeah, you need to read this still, don't you?
It's on either I own it or it's on my wish list. I'll have to check.
Oh, you got to get it. It's fantastic. We could do a whole Craig Thompson thing.
I remember writing it down because you told me to get it.
Yeah, just such a great book. Very fun. Just a joy.
That was a good question. Let's see.
Make me small again.
Oh, sorry.
I'm like, where's he at?
When are you buying that one library edition of that series you hate?
I believe Hayden's referencing Angel Season 11 library edition. Boom has come out with Buffy Season 11. They're doing Angel Season 11. IST hasn't gotten it yet, so Diamond hasn't gotten it yet. I believe it's maybe next month, and that's what I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy it. I hate it. It was garbage season. I hated the whole thing, but I have to buy it for my Buffy collection. So I don't know if you ever experienced stuff like that, but I want to support it. I want them to keep making the books.
Yeah,
but I hated it.
I do understand what you're talking about completely.
Yeah.
That's like when Omar and Riley pick up these X-Men books. They know are junk, but they still have to. And Patrick Kinderbatter does that too from Germany. I think any X-Men completist has to do that. Just because there's so much of it, but they have to. They're compelled to buy it. So
it's the same with the Buffy and Angelverse. Like there's a lot of trash. There's a lot of good, but there's also a lot of trash. And I have all the trash and all the good. Because I need it all.
Right. I totally get that.
Yeah.
Love the show. Thank you, Chris. Have either of you read The Tick?
No.
I'd like to watch the TV show because it has Putty from Seinfeld on it as the Tick.
He's great.
Have you seen
the
show? Or
I haven't. He's just good in everything he does.
Yeah.
He's a good character actor.
Yeah, exactly. Jess, did you ever read Batman and the Outsiders? I did not. I know a lot of people have fond memories of it, but Paul, I haven't read that. Should I? Do people? I should probably ask Taylor Brown that, since he's such a Batman expert. Batman and the Outsiders was just sort of not in my orbit. I never picked it up in singles, so I just never read it. But I'm open to getting it. Whoops. I went way too far. Now I don't know where I am.
They're kind of buried back here.
Okay, wait. Here we are.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I got up to Mary's.
Can you name, from Mary M, hey Mary, can you name a couple of books that you've had on your shelves for a long time that you'd like to read next? Excellent question.
Great question. Now I'm looking around again.
As a matter of fact, I pulled some books and took them upstairs. So now I'm going to have to remember what they are, but they've been sitting on my shelf. I know I picked up, I haven't read, you may not believe this, but I haven't read any Harley Quinn Rebirth. I think I read the first hardcover, but there's like 3 hardcovers. So I grabbed those and I said, it's time. I have to read these. And they've been sitting on my shelf for at least 2 years. So that's my book that I've had for a while. If you want to talk like the oldest book, probably Captain Britain or something. I still haven't read that. Whoops. What happened to Kristen? Well, Kristen will be back. She probably just hit a wrong button. Let's see. Let me think of another. There she is.
Okay. It broke on me. I don't know what happened.
What book have you had on your shelves, or a couple of books?
I missed everything you said, so that's sad.
Oh, it was so epic.
So good, right?
I have a ton of Marvel Omnis that I really need to read.
Yeah, me too. I have Deadpool by Joe Kelly, which is, everyone says is an amazing run, some of their favorites. And it's been sitting there since, I believe I got that, if I remember right, if Reed's watching, he'll correct me, but I think I got that when Go Hastings was closing. You know, when all those shut down years ago. I don't know if you remember Hastings, but we used to travel to a Hastings.
Okay, sort of. I don't know that there were that many around my area. I don't think I've ever been to one.
Yeah, we had to travel hours to get to one, but yeah, they're more in this. I think they're more in the south, or they were. But yeah, okay. It says yes. Okay. So I got it for undercover when they were closing. I think it was like half off, and that's when it was out of print too.
Oh.
And I was like, oh yay, and I was so excited, and then it's been sitting there. I've just never picked it up. So that's one of them. I also got the Miller Wolverine Omni at that same Go Hastings for like half off.
Was that when it was out of print, or was it back in?
It was still out of print. So
nice.
Yeah. Those are just sitting there.
Yeah.
So I should probably get to those. Those are 2.
Well, I find it a lot easier to pick up something, this size.
It's way less intimidating. Yeah.
Than plowing through an Omni. And I'm echoing. Do people hear me echoing, or am I only the one that's hearing it?
I don't hear an echo. It does sound a little weird though.
I can go get my headset. Oh, I think it's corrected itself.
Oh yeah, it sounds better.
Okay, good.
We're having all kinds of issues today.
Chris Brogan says Avant-Garde is really good. Okay.
I think you'd enjoy it, really, Jess. You should. It's on Hoopla, so.
Okay. I just noticed the DuckTales shirt, Kristen. I've never seen any.
Yeah, I don't remember where I got this, but they're out there.
So can you ask Omar to ask David to ask Marvel to ask DC to print Absolute Batman Damned?
Your favorite.
Oh my goodness. Walking Dead getting reprinted in color just announced. Jess, can you review? Bruce, come on, you know me way better than that. He's yanking my chain there because he knows I'm not a Kirkman fan. Let's see. I certainly have. From Bob, have either of you run into the problem of running out of room for more books?
I too have some on the floor right now. What I found helps is actually read your books, and then if you don't really love them, get rid of them. Mm-hmm. So I actually have a whole plastic bin beside me right now, filled with stuff I'm gonna take to Second and Charles or somewhere, and just be like, take this away from me.
Yeah.
And if I get new books, at least it'll only be a little bit for all these that I'm taking to them, It helps.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Lionheart, how's it going, buddy? What's up, Jess? How have you been? Glad to have you back. Hey, Kristen.
Hey, Lionheart.
Hey there. Hi, Wade. Do you play video games?
I mean, Animal Crossing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Any favorite video game you would like to see as a comic? Well,
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
It'll be all about Tom Nook taking advantage of people. It'll be a drama. We'll all be sad about it. Yes, 100%. Actually, but really, Boom, I think would be a great publisher of an Animal Crossing comic where it's just delightful and things happen and villagers and their friends. I can see it. They can make money.
I could totally read that because that would be something that my daughter and I could read together because we're constantly texting each other or we're on the phone with each other playing, just bashing Tom Nook and his crooked nephews. So we have a blast. I think the other one is actually getting a comic is Horizon Zero Dawn. That's getting a comic put out, and if it's written well, I'd be totally into reading that because we love that video game, my daughter and I. Jessica Ashcraft asks, which character in the Big Two that has never had a solo title would you bestow that honor? And what series that's ended would you revive? That has never had a solo title, would you?
That's hard.
I would say, well, no, Zatanna did have those Paul Dini books. Damn it.
Can I tweak the question
Yeah.
for my answer? Because my favorite Marvel character of all time is Rogue, which I think we've established here. But on record, it's Rogue. I loved the solo series she had back in 2005, I think. As a teenager, I loved that. I haven't read it since. She had one in the 90s that was all right, if I remember right. But it was mostly her and Gambit. The one back in the day was, if I'm remembering correct. And then, of course, there's the new one, Rogue and Gambit series, which is fantastic, Mr. and Mrs. X. But I would like that same Rogue, written by Kelly Thompson, with her own series. So it has nothing to do with Gambit, because she don't need him. And she could just hold a series on her own, I think. I would love to see that.
I'd read that. I love Kelly Thompson, so I'd be happy to read that. I feel like as far as DC goes, everybody's got a solo series at one point or another. So, and I don't know that I know the Marvel universe well enough, but even Sue Storm has that Mark Waid book that just came out. That was really good. I can't think of, unless you go into fourth tier Condiment King type characters. I can't think of.
Yeah, because even Lockjaw had his own series, So.
What about what series that's ended would you revive?
Are we talking only Big Two?
Well, answer however you want to answer.
Because I would just bring back Giant Days. I just want more Giant Days.
That's fair.
Forever, yeah. I
would say I'd like to see more iZombie. Only give them time to actually. I'd like to see iZombie rewritten at the very end so they could stretch it out and give it a proper ending and then restart it and give it a 12-issue miniseries or something.
That's another omnibus that I just got sitting there. It's been there for a bit. I need to read that.
I actually did read that a long time ago. I really enjoyed that book. Oh my gosh, I'm way behind on questions. A comic of Jess is a wee omnipup watching a Batman 66 and taking it so damn serious. I can find a picture of me at that age, and you can just imagine me in front of a TV because I did take it super seriously. Kristen, have you ever read Black Hole? And if so, what did you think of it?
You know, I recently picked that up for like $3, and I haven't read it yet.
Is that
But
the
it is
Charles
sitting on my
Byrne
shelf.
book?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't read it yet. I need to. Do I need to? I mean, I'm gonna read it. I have it, but I don't know yet. We'll see. Have you read it, Jess?
I did. Yeah, a long time ago.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I like Charles Byrne.
Good.
And Raz, I think you misread it. Jess doesn't appreciate the thrill of the hunt. I do like to hunt for books, but it felt more, if we're talking about Infinite Crisis or Crisis on Infinite Earths, it felt more like a job than like a job you hate than let me, this thing's dinging too much. Let me get rid of the omnibus page.
I wondered if that was you.
It is me.
I was like, it's not me. I don't have tabs open.
Getting rid of it. It was just annoying. I love chasing down out of print books and finding things that are, new to me. But that Crisis on Infinite Earths was just something I did not dig. Okay, here's Marvel did do Secret Wars 1 and 2 before, parallel to Crisis on Infinite Earths. Okay, that's good to know. I have not read any of the Dread books yet, because there's still one out there that was sent from Canada a month ago, and I haven't got it yet. That was a Judge Anderson book, and I think it's #1, so I need it to sort of start the Judge Anderson series. But I'll be getting to those Dread books soon. I need to do a haul video that includes those, and then I can get them all organized and read them. I am excited to read them. I don't know what is taking so long for this other book to get here. Where did you the highlight of the show is
It's just my DuckTales. I think I got it at Meyer, which is I think a Midwest thing. So if you're not in the Midwest, I don't think you have Meyer. I could be wrong, but if you do, I think that's where I got it.
Oh, here's a good question from Lloyd Wong. Will you be getting the Sweet Tooth the return in singles or waiting till it gets collected?
Well, as you know, I love Jeff Lemire, and I usually wait for things to be collected. However, I've been thinking about getting them in singles, so I'm not sure yet. I'm not even sure when they're coming out at this point.
Do we know how long it's going to be? How many issues?
If so, I haven't heard.
Okay. I don't know that.
I don't know
that either. I will wait because I have a ton of other stuff to read. So I will wait. Whoops. Now I went past everything. Here's a good question. Can you name major disappointments? You can answer this too, Kristen. For me, it is.
Oh, thank you.
Hellblazer, Invisibles, and Sandman. About 12 issues into all three, and they're disappointments to me. Interesting.
Wow.
2 out of those 3 I love. Invisibles, not so much. I can see how Invisibles. I thought Invisibles was a very difficult read, even with the compendium that I got next to it that helped translate everything he was trying to say. But I love Hellblazer and Sandman. Major disappointments. Everybody knows about Batman Damned, but I didn't dig it. The Wake by Scott Snyder. That was a huge disappointment to me because it was that ending was just so bad, and everything was so good up until that point. So that was a big disappointment. Um, if it's a big disappointment, it probably isn't on my shelves anymore. Is the thing.
I have one on my shelf.
Oh, what is that?
I don't know if you
Plutona.
recognize this. Yeah, it is Plutona, the biggest Jeff Lemire disappointment. I still have this. It is. It's that limited San Diego Comic-Con cover. Emmy Lennox, who's the artist who I really like, and I really like the art in this. She signed it. My friend Kyle Starks, went to SDCC and got this for me. So maybe it's because I have all that and I want to keep it.
Yeah.
But I hated it. I'll never read it again. I don't think I'll ever read it again, unless you and I decide to do a hate show. But I don't think we like that. So.
No, but I didn't. I didn't care for that either. But I do still have it. I found it in a box the other day.
Oh, funny. Maybe we should reread it together.
Just taking a break. Boy, your shirt.
Guys, thank you, Tyler.
Just taking a break from Kingdom Hearts with Evie to say I love Kristen's shirt. And also the tick is amazing. Cartoon and live action volume version 1, V1. Can you name any books? This is applicable to me. Can you name any books you've sold before reading them? I think Venomnimus Volume 2 is one of yours, Just. You are correct, Endman. I, for some reason, ordered it, and then Omar publicly shamed me so much. He probably talked me into buying it, and then once I got it, he shamed me into getting rid of it. I didn't even break the seal on it, and I sold it within a couple days.
Now, my question to you is, have you done that, regretted it, bought it again later with anything?
Yeah. Have I sold something and then regretted it and bought it back? The answer is yes, but I can't think of what it was. Shoot. Oh, I'll tell you. Hickman's Fantastic Four and Hickman's Avengers. I needed money, so I sold them on eBay, and I said to myself, they'll be getting a reprint. And
I think that's fair, though. That will happen.
I agree with that, but I panicked.
Bought it back.
Those are two books that I read and loved. It was easily my favorite Fantastic Four run, but I regretted it almost as soon as I shipped those things out. And I was lucky enough that I could buy them from Gabe, who was pruning his collection. So I got them back. But yeah, I regretted that immediately. And I sort of regret the Colossal Conan sale. But looking back on it, I just don't know how much into Conan I really am into.
It's an investment.
Yeah. I have several of his books. I remember reading them as a teenager and enjoying them, but I'm going to have to really look at them long and hard because they are taking up room on my shelves. I don't know that I'm 100% invested in them. I know that's blasphemy to a lot of people, but
my dad's gonna watch this and be like, "Oh,
come over to my house
and
hang out with me." Let's see. Yeah, I'm way behind on these. This is obviously someone trying to be funny. Hollow Snow. There's no way. The art wasn't even good in that book. Poor guy. He used to be so great. Okay. Speaking of Horizon Zero Dawn, have you caved and pre-ordered the Prime 1 Aloy yet? I have not. Did you, David? Did you, since it's being picked up by Sideshow, it'll be a lot cheaper shipping. So did you buy it? Have you seen a picture of this statue, Kristen? It's the character in Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, Maddie has shown me. It does look amazing.
Yeah.
But you go pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which my wife is fine with as long as I sell other statues first.
It's fair.
Yeah, and I agree with that. That's fair. So I have to really consider who I would sell. I'm looking at these statues like they're real people. Then she did. Am I right? I'm so far behind in these comments. Yeah, hit that like button. Oh, yeah, Conor Mckinney. The first time I read about him was in this book. Batgirl Year One. I think he was defeated when their motorcycle barely bumped into him. Conor Mckinney is unironically in Batgirl Volume Year One, which is actually a really good book. I enjoyed the heck out of this. But Conor Mckinney was, I couldn't figure out what he was doing in there. He was the lamest villain. I did order Aloy via Sideshow. Okay, good. Jess, just to remind you, whenever you're ready to sell your Power Girl statue by Sideshow, let me know. Okay, I will keep it in mind. If I may make a suggestion to you, Jess, you like Jeff Lemire too, but you've never read his run on Bloodshot. That's true. Which I believe you have. I do. I think you can go into it blind and enjoy it. Okay, good. That Valiant stuff needs to be read. That is stuff that sat on my shelves for a while, and I do need to read it.
I've also considered reading that, but I couldn't figure out. I kept hearing different things if I could go in blind or not because I haven't read any Valiant. So it's good to know.
Yeah. This is another example of how people know my life better than I do. I did sell Burns Fantastic Four before I read it. Yeah. Oh no, wait. No, I do have John Byrne's Fantastic Four. I do have John Byrne's Fantastic Four. I sold something else by Byrne. I think it may be Avengers or something by Byrne before I read it. I got rid of a lot of Avengers. The Avengers just don't. I love the Avengers movies, but the Avengers comic books have never really done it for me.
Actually, that's funny. That's one that I've sold that I didn't read either. The Avengers by Byrne. Because I was like, hey, Dad, do you need this? And he's like, I do. And I was like, I'm literally never going to read this. It's just been sitting there.
Well,
it's just sitting there forever. So that went to my dad.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
It just finished Irredeemable on me. Super good story and ending. Thanks, Jess, for the recommendation. Yes. I'm so happy to hear that. Yeah, I just had that Irredeemable Omni arrive from a Dutch store. I should dive into it soon. Yes, that's great. Let's see. Stick to Savage Sword ones. Yeah, I do have Savage Sword. Those are really good stories for Conan. The Venom 616. Do you think it's worth paying high prices for Dark Horse Alien Predator hardcover? FOMO is real with this collection, LOL. I Alien Predator hardcover. I'm trying to think. I closed my mail because it's always making so much noise, but I think that I just got that, and I don't think I knew that it was already out of print. I don't think I would pay over cover for it. The Venom 616. I think that, yeah. Here's a really good point. Marvel will probably put out epic collections for Alien Predator. I would not pay. I totally understand FOMO, and I feel your pain, but I think Aiku's right here. They'll put out epics. I think even Omar has said his feeling is that they'll put out epics of this series too. So I wouldn't. I would not go crazy on that book. If you happen to run into it and can pay cover for it, that's fine. But I certainly wouldn't pay over for it. Good evening from London. How's it going, Paul? Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. From Hayden, what's an unpopular series or run on a character you both think is underrated? Unpopular series. So you're asking if there's an unpopular book that we like.
And that's hard. That's hard to determine, right?
Yeah. I mean, because just about every book has its admirers as well as its detractors. There's only a few books that have a almost universal hatred.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for a reason, because they're genuinely bad. I'm trying to think of something that people don't like that I do like.
It's hard.
Yeah, like Omar would say Avengers The Crossing, because nobody likes that one but him. That you both think is underrated. I don't think I have an answer for this one.
No, and I mean, I think a lot of books generally are underrated that I like, that I just don't hear a lot of people talk about, right?
I can think of a lot of underrated books, but not ones that are unpopular.
Right.
Yeah, every book has the people that love it and hate it. So I don't know. Maybe Batman Eternal. I like that, but I think the majority of people don't like it. But I did like it. When it came out in singles is when I read it with New 52. MM40 likes Silver Age X-Men, and it seems everyone thinks it is bad. That's a book that's funny. That first Omni, that it's going for $500 or whatever, and even Omar and Riley say the material and it's not good, but everybody wants it because it's out of print. It is typical Silver Age. That's a book that I like. I don't have the Omni anymore. I sold it, but I can see how you like it, and I can see why people don't like it, because Silver Age is a hard thing to read for a modern reader.
And a lot of that stuff, like you said before, depends on if you read it back then, or what time of your life you read it. Especially for people used to modern comics, it's just that can be difficult.
The Avengers Run by Perez is my favorite comics. Avengers Run. I think that's when I sold also without reading it, because I just was looking at all my Avengers books. I had West Coast Avengers, Avengers by Busiek, Avengers by Perez, and I was like, I just am not that into these Avengers. I'm not into it. So it got sold. From Eric Ramirez, do you think Amazon and IST should show an image of hardcovers under the dust jacket? Every time I see a hardcover online, I always wonder what it looks like under the dust jacket.
I kind of like the surprise, personally. Right? Especially if you don't already know. Like with the Marvel ones.
Yeah.
You know, seeing what's under, it's like, ooh, surprise. Like, that's cool, right?
Yeah.
You know, I love finding out. That's the first thing I do when I get one of these. I'm like, what's under it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But, you know.
DC did it with its Rebirth books, too. Rebirth hardcovers for the deluxes. That was fun.
It's like one of the best parts of these.
Yeah. Okay. Is Weird Western Tales Jonah Hex out of print for real, or is it just a COVID-related out of print? That's out of print? I didn't even know it was out of print.
And that's hard to know right now, right? Because a lot of us didn't understand what was going on with IST until recently, when they're like, oh no, we're not ordering less, we're ordering way more, and people are just buying more. So if people are buying that much more from one website, I can see them just clearing the whole market because people are at home still, people are looking for things to read, they're not going on vacation.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me. I think we're all buying more books. I am.
Yeah.
than I normally would, you know.
DC is better than Marvel at reprinting, although Marvel's been doing a lot of reprinting of Omnis. I think DC, for the most part, is really good about reprinting stuff, and my guess is that it's out of print for real. But that within a couple of years, DC will reprint it. Because that shows me, number one, I think that's really good news. I'm sorry for you, Joe, because that means you didn't get it. I'm sorry for you. It's good news for the market, though, because if it's sold out, that means we might be seeing volume 2 now. And I bet they would reprint volume 1 when they put out volume 2. That's my guess.
That is one thing DC's been good at.
Yeah.
When they put out a volume 2, they'll like, okay, let's get you a volume 1 again. It only makes good business sense, right? Yeah.
Like with Swamp Thing Absolute 1 going out of print, they reprinted it when number 2 came out. I feel like Eric Odd. I feel like Charles Sewell's Daredevil is pretty underrated, and I love that run. I haven't read it, but I know that Taylor Brown and Tim Burnham both like it. And I tend to like Charles Sewell's Big 2 stuff. It's his independent stuff I don't like. So I haven't got to it yet, but I will get to it. Okay, let's see. DC does a lot of stealth reprints, yeah. Joppy says, definitely buying more books now, yep. Sam Cluxon, I haven't heard from you for a while. Hodinky Magazine has a great article about the world's foremost collector of Bang & Olufsen tube radios. Hodinky Magazine. I've never heard of that. Unless... I did have a Bang & Olufsen turntable, and I have a big collection of tube radios from the 40s. I would like to read that, but I am not familiar with that magazine. Hodinky. Is the article all in Swedish or something? I totally agree with this. Soul's Darth Vader is also awesome.
I still need to read that.
Did you read, was it Kieran Gillan's?
Yeah.
Darth Vader?
I loved it, yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
They need to reprint that. so I can give it to my dad and make him read it. That's the one reason I want to. I'm like, I'm keeping my Omni, but.
Johnny Rando, have either of you ever backed a crowdfunded book?
Many. Still waiting on that Scurry 3. I'm like, come on, man. I know things are happening.
Right.
But I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, I feel like within the past couple of weeks, we just got a note from him.
Yeah, I think so. I forget what it was, but yeah.
Yeah. I backed a lot of Kickstarter books and been happy with all of them. And I've never had a Kickstarter not come through. There was an Indiegogo recently, and I would have to open up my mail and look, but there was an Indiegogo recently that I can't remember. I think I backed it, and I backed it for the smallest amount for the nicest book I could get, because Indiegogo doesn't have as good a track record as Kickstarter. Indiegogo, I think I got shafted by Indiegogo, where the creator kept all the money and just walked.
That's messed up.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done a Indiegogo book since. Kickstarters have all been good.
Yeah, mine too. Thankfully.
The article is in English. The magazine is available at the Hodinkee online shop, volume 6. Well, I'm totally going to get that and read it. Thank you, Sam.
And now you just say Hodinkee all the time. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Kristen, is Buffy season 12 next week or the week after?
I looked that up just for you, Hayden. The 29th. That's when that is, Hayden.
Is it? That's the hardcover?
It's the trade we are reviewing. So Maddie and I have been going through all of the canon, Dark Horse, previously Dark Horse, now Boom, Buffy seasons. So Buffy went up to season 7 in the TV show, then 8 to 12 in comics. So we're finally to the end, season 12, and Hayden is supposed to join us for that talk. So we're really stoked about that. That will be the 29th, so it's last week of the month.
He's going to join you on cam?
Supposedly.
I'll watch that.
Hayden, is that happening? I heard he got a camera, so we're stoked. Hayden's a big Buffy fan, too.
Yeah, I would totally watch that.
We're excited.
Yeah. Here's Lionheart with an important message. Just to remind everyone, Uncanny X-Force Omnibus is still available on IST.
I grabbed it. I grabbed it.
Oh, did you?
I did. I had to.
Yeah, great book. Have either of you read any of the Winona Earp books?
No, and I haven't watched it either.
I watched about 3/4 of season 1, and I hadn't thought about it until just now. I really enjoyed that show. I should go back to it. She was a good character. I really liked it. Thanks, Chris, for reminding me. I need to go back and continue watching that. I think that's a Netflix show.
I was just about to ask if it's on Netflix, because I've been wanting to see that too. I keep hearing good things.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Let's see. Image needs to reprint the complete Aphrodite 9 hardcover. I've been waiting to get that book for 5 years, and it's ridiculously out of print. That's a book that I read and sold. It did not. I'm sorry, Eric. It wasn't for me. The art was nice, but the story didn't do anything for me, and I sold it. Everything I sell, though, goes towards a good cause, and that is to fund my health insurance. And your boy needs good health insurance, because I'm always sick.
Oh, America. You shouldn't have to fund your health insurance.
Well, I wish I didn't have to use it so much. I mean, just in the past 2 months, it's been going crazy because I've been so sick.
It sucks.
I know.
It really sucks.
I don't. I don't begrudge doctors and hospitals their money. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with my needing to see them so often. I'm tired of that. My wife hasn't been to a doctor since she gave birth to our daughter 30 years ago, and I'm going like every 2 weeks. I'm kind of
Sucks. Really sucks.
Yeah.
Well, and insurance is way too high. Come on now.
Oh,
You know
my
that.
insurance is
Come on.
no, my insurance is very expensive. Yeah.
Shouldn't be happening.
I'm not going to disagree. Isn't the 29th a Wednesday?
I don't know. Let's look. Probably. I do have a weird work schedule, so I think we had to move it.
29th of July is a Wednesday.
I work the 25th and 26th, like 12-hour shifts that day, so I cannot do shows those days. Or else I would fall asleep. That's just how it is.
First 3 seasons are on Netflix. Season 4 starts next week on Sci-Fi. I guess we're still talking about Winona Earp.
That makes sense because it's a sci-fi show.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay, good. I need to read that.
I've actually heard the comics are good too. I don't know if that's true. But.
Oh, okay. I need to finish watching that. Jess, did you ever have a quadraphonic hi-fi setup? That is an excellent question. The answer is no, but I heard quadraphonic music a couple times at a theater in Monterey that was set up for it. They had a quadraphonic sound system, and the idea with quadraphonic was that stereo gives you it through 2 speakers, but 2 dedicated speakers, but quadraphonic had 4 dedicated speakers, so it was super deep. You could hear. I think the reason it didn't become popular is because you had to have 4 speakers back then. Now everybody has, 5 speakers for their television. They have no problem wanting television to be in 5 speakers. But the sound was amazing. Each of the 4 speakers had a dedicated channel, and you could hear so much more, and it was amazing. I think it was just too expensive, and it was ahead of its time. Let's see. Have you guys read Luther Strode, the complete series? Is crazy out of print. Wonder if it's worth hunting down.
So if you can get Hoopla, you should read it there.
I actually agree with that.
I mean, I haven't read it, but I do know nothing is worth the crazy prices some of the stuff goes for. You know? And that one's way over cover last I saw.
Way over cover. And it's a book that I wouldn't... it's a perfect Hoopla book. Because it's worth one read. It's interesting enough for a read, but I didn't find it interesting enough to keep. So I would not pay those crazy prices. Thank you, Eric W. I am feeling a little bit better. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're trying, PS Viewer.
Yeah, you too.
Jessica Ashcraft, Winona is so good, show and comics. In the reverse, what TV show do you wish would become a comic? Who would write and draw?
I've thought about this before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think mostly I just want all of my favorite Nicktoons to be comics. Because Boom has done it amazingly well with Rugrats and Rocco. I would love to see
Rocco, yeah.
I would love to see Hey Arnold. Maybe Box Brown doing the art on that would be awesome. Aura Monsters. I mean, all that stuff I think would be great. Boom is doing it good. And, cartoons transfer to comics very well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I can add anything to that. Kristen gave a really good answer on that. I agree with it. That those Nicktoons would be great. Jesse Christian, you didn't miss anything. We haven't reviewed books at all. This has been a question.
Not sure we will.
I just said at the beginning of the show, if you guys have any questions, we will answer them throughout the review. And we got nothing but questions ever since that. So you missed some answers to questions, but you didn't miss any books.
Which is awesome. Thanks for the questions, guys.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, this is crazy. Who the heck are you, Sam? How do you know I have that Kennedy memorabilia, the White House matches? That is just insane.
These are things like you probably mentioned once, and all these people with good memories remember.
Wow. I don't have any other presidential. That's my only piece of presidential memorabilia. Is the book of matches from the Kennedy White House, and I got that from the TV show that I did back in the 90s. I had a presidential memorabilia collector on. He owns the hat of Abraham Lincoln the night he was shot.
That's crazy.
He has a lot of presidential memorabilia, a lot. He's based in Baltimore. And I interviewed him for the television show, and we got the television show, a lot of it transferred to DVD, so I now need to transfer it from DVD to computer file so I can upload it on this channel so people can watch it.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, some reason people want to see it.
I want to see it now. Was this like a public access thing?
Exactly.
Oh, nice. That makes it even better.
Yeah, I did 35 episodes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was it called?
Collector's Showcase.
Okay.
Where I had all kinds of collectors. He was the, excuse me, memorabilia guy, presidential memorabilia. I had on all kinds of toy collectors, comic book collectors, old radio and TV collector, black memorabilia. He was on twice for black memorabilia. Perfume bottles, can openers, World War II memorabilia, animation art. Yeah, so I did 35 episodes, cereal boxes, lunch boxes, Coca-Cola products. So everything fun in the world I had on. And I got really stuck with a bad collecting habit right around then because a guy would come on with all these lunch boxes, and this was before eBay or anything. This was the early to mid 90s. And so I would start going around looking for cereal boxes and lunch boxes for every Saturday and Sunday at flea markets or people's yard sales. And
nice.
And so pretty soon our basement was full of stuff. But I will get that show on the air. My wife got them all transferred to DVDs.
I mean, I have a great copy of Plutona. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Never to be read again.
This is the reviews. What are those show? Right. If you look at the title of this show, it was just I only put the date. I didn't say what we were going to be reviewing. We are reviewing your questions.
What's funny is when we originally talked about this, you were like, oh, you want to drop like a book or two? Or like, oh, let's do it all together. And I'm like, I don't think we'll have time, but okay. And it clearly, we can't do both in one show.
No, you are right. You were right.
Which is fine.
Yeah, people really wanted to ask us questions, which I think is great. Still waiting for a horror take on Fairly Odd Parents.
That would be cool.
I liked that show.
That would be really cool. Yeah, it's a good show.
I feel like freedom of information is coming into play here. Where? To what are you referring, Lloyd? Am I telling too much of myself? Is that what you're saying? Are you getting too much personal information from me?
People already know everything about you, right?
Well,
So
I guess so. Jess, how come you don't continue collectors' interviews on OmniDog channel? I hadn't thought of it until this second, actually. So I think I had a broader interest in collectibles back then, Bruce, and now I'm 100% focused on comic books. So I interview with tailored creators. But yeah, I hadn't thought about it till just now, and I got to
really, if you think about it, all your co-hosts are also collectors, right?
Yeah,
we all just collect the same thing,
right? Oh, the matches. How he knew. I must have mentioned it on a room tour. I think maybe the OmniDog room tour of 2017. I think I probably panned over it in the minibar glass case where it is. So I think that's where Sam got that. Art Walker, have you gotten Kristen to read The Alcoholic? You got me to read it, and now it's one of my favorites. Oh, good. It is a great book.
I remember you talking about it, but
yeah, that's right.
I have not read it.
Yeah, it's right here. It's got fantastic art by Dean Haspiel, and Jonathan Ames wrote it. I mean, it's one of those slice of life things, but he's a constant mess up guy, just because he's addicted, and it's more than, and it's a book about his behavior and what the results of his bad behavior, how they impact his personal life and the people around him. And he's a drug addict too, and an alcoholic, and he's trying to get better in it, but I don't know. It's just really well written and well drawn. I think in different hands, it could have been a much gloomier, kind of downer of a book. There's kind of a glimmer of hope throughout it because he wants to get better. Of course, he's just not doing a good job of getting better. So it's a great book. I really like it, and he wrote it really personally. I think the character looks exactly like him, so I think he is the alcoholic. So it was it's a good experience. It's a Vertigo book.
Yeah, I really like that art. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I think you'd like it. Jessica Ashcraft. I'm always so jealous of Jess's Bombshells collection. Has Kristen read Bombshells? Honestly, some of my fave DC.
I haven't. I have been told that I may like it, but I haven't. So that's going to be a hoopla pick for me sometime.
I think that's a good hoopla idea for you. The first three are really good. I feel like maybe the last two sort of tailed off, but the first few books are fun.
I'll check them out.
Yeah, they're really fun. Oh, super gay. You'd like it.
Well, that's all you had to say, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The girls are always making out with each other all throughout the book.
You liked that too, didn't you? Yeah.
Totally. I am always up for Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy making out. I would not even attempt to lie about that. So, Yeah, I think that's Marguerite Bennett. She's one of my favorite writers. So.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Yeah. Jess, how are your action figures lately? Really good. I just built Demogoblin, and I have him tilted. Let's see. There he is. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me see if I can. He was a Build-A-Figure. Well, you can't really see him that well.
Kind of.
I mean, he's right there. He's standing on his little Demogoblin. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'll just bring him down. I had to get my wife's hairdryer to put him together because he just wouldn't stick. I mean, I couldn't get the parts to. Let's see, how can I show him off better? I couldn't get the legs and arms to fit into the pieces, so I had to use the hairdryer on him.
It looks cool.
Yeah, he was fun to build once I actually got him to stick together. So that's the latest thing that I have built. Oops. I thought I was doing the exact opposite. Jess, with Golden Age Batman Volume 9 being announced as the last Golden Age Omni, do you think they will start the Silver Age collection soon? I hope so. I can't wait much longer. I need these Silver Age ones to start coming out lickety split. I only have so many years left, man. I want to make sure I get through the Bronze Age.
You have plenty.
Okay. Everybody keeps saying that. Yeah, I think next year we'll see 2 Silver Age collections. If they're smart, they do 3 or 4, or 3. The market can probably bear 3 a year, I would guess. Silver Age and Bronze Age will be much more popular than Golden Age. You mentioned the matches in your first room tour on OmniBros. Sam, points for you because that was almost 4 years ago. That's amazing.
Well, that is a really unique thing in your collection. I think I would remember that too.
Yeah. Everyone should read David Codd. Everyone should read Mistborn or listen to the audiobook if you don't want lots of words in your face. Speaking of audiobooks, I am eagerly anticipating the audiobook of Sandman.
I think it's out now, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the world of audiobooks in that I feel like this might be a subscription service thing.
It's Audible exclusive, right?
I beg your pardon?
Isn't it Audible exclusive?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't ever, which it sounds like you have never had Audible, you can get a free trial, which includes 1 free audiobook. There you go. And then you can immediately cancel it, and you get to keep it.
Done.
There you go. Such a free audiobook. Everyone out there, if you haven't subscribed to Audible before, because I have used all my emails at this point and I have no free audiobooks left. So I get mine from the library for free.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I could do that too. I wonder how long.
If it's Audible exclusive, it won't be at the library, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but you can do it through your Amazon account. Real easy, fast. Get the app, download it, and say, I don't want to do this anymore. Cancel it before you pay.
I like the way you think.
Yeah.
Just will outlive Cher. She's got computer body parts, though, man. She's probably half robot.
She's still killing it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we got a super chat.
Oh.
Seidel, $5. Thank you very much. I am looking for something like the Black Monday murders, a cult that's set in the real world. Anything outside of the common image recommendations. And by common image recommendations, are you talking about black magic, which you would like?
Oh, it's so good.
That
I 1000% agree with that. Also, I feel like we just read The Marked.
Yeah.
That would kind of be in that realm.
I agree with that. The Marked Fresh Ink, Volume 1. Let's see. The Scarlet Witches series. Shoot, what was that called? It was 3 volumes. The Scarlet Witch series was really good. It came out a couple of years ago. It was three volumes.
Oh, with those cool covers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And magic was broken, and she had to help bring it back. And there was a lot of occult craziness that was really interesting. I think the Doctor Strange, written by Jason Aaron with art by Chris Bacallo, or however you pronounce it. That's some really good occult stuff. Let's see. I liked this book. I don't think I reviewed this. Maybe I did. Sex, Death, Revolution from Black Mask. Life is a story. Hers is being rewritten. Still reeling. Let me get rid of this question. Thank you for the super chat, Seidel. We appreciate that. Let me show some art from this book because it's really good. Still reeling from the sudden collapse of her coven, Manhattanite sorceress Esperanza tries to rebuild. But everyone in her life is saying she's done and said things that never happened. Terrible things. Before she knows it, she's becoming someone entirely different. Someone she used to be once upon a time. And this is about a trans woman. Somebody is using magic to rewrite her life. And strange things start happening to her that are out of her control because someone else has taken so much control of her life that they're rewriting her past as well as her present. And this is a really good book. The art is cool, and the writing's really good. Sex, Death, Revolution from Black Mask. This is a good occult book. Really good occult book.
I'm writing this down. I need to get that.
Yeah, I think you'd dig
great.
this. Yeah, I think you'd really dig this.
That's a cool cover.
Yeah, I don't know if Black Mask stuff is in the library or not. I think you'd dig this enough. And it's a complete story, issues 1 through 5. I think that this is a book you should probably own, Kristen, because it's really, I think it's good enough that I kept it because I want to reread it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will blind buy that on your recommendation.
I really dug it because it was such an interesting concept that I really dug it. Also, Gail Simone wrote a 3-trade paperback series called Clean Room that Faria hated, but I love.
She hated it so much.
She really hated it, but I love it. I loved Clean Room. I should have everything I should have all my occult books separated out from everything else. This book has some occult stuff in it. Britannia by Peter Milligan from Valiant. This involves a Roman centurion detective back in the Roman times, and he deals with what are those women called? The Fates. He deals with, I mean, it looks like the emperor's in power, but the real power lies with the women who are like witches, powerful witches that keep him on the throne. And they designate this guy to be like a detective, private investigator for the emperor in Roman times. And this has some occult stuff to it that I really enjoyed. This is also a book Faria hated. Just so you know.
Do a whole show on those.
Books that Faria hated and I love.
Yeah.
Dark Ark. Oh, and A Walk Through Hell. These are two books from Aftershock. Dark Ark and A Walk Through Hell. Dark Ark is by, I think, Donny Cates, Garth Ennis. We're going to get the right book. Cullen Bunn. Dark Ark is the story of Noah had all the good creatures on his ark. The Dark Ark had all the creatures that are related to sorcery on Earth and magic and the dark arts. So it was the Dark Ark because the guy in charge of taking care of these mystical creatures, mythical and mystical, he had the huge ark with all these odd and wild and crazy creatures, and it's really good. So I really like Dark Ark. That's 3 trade paperbacks, and then A Walk Through Hell is a fantastic Garth Ennis book involving FBI agents who get caught up in a very weird mystical warehouse that they're investigating that ties into a previous case of theirs involving a pedophile who's been, that one of the detectives has already killed because he wouldn't confess, and somehow he comes back to life. And this is one of the best books out there right now, I think, A Walk Through Hell. I love this book. So those are some occult recommendations.
Those are good ones.
Let's see, here's a question for you.
Oh, you know what? Let's check. 1 second. 79%. So I'm getting there.
Wow.
Still pretty great for July, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 318 books of 400 is my goal.
Awesome.
Thanks for asking, Lloyd. I love my Goodreads goal. I look at it every day.
Only 2 things will outlive the human race: Cher and Jess. We'll have each other to comfort each other at the very end. Jess, we will out you in cryostasis to save you and wake you up when it's time for the Bronze Age. Thank you. Here's a nice one. OmniDog and OmniCat, thanks for all the live streams.
Thanks Jesse.
You, Say What, for being here for so many of them.
Totally.
I really appreciate that. There's a Star Wars Dr. Aphra audiobook coming out soon. I
That's
love
cool.
Dr. Aphra.
Mm-hmm.
He is excellent. Whoops, I went past some stuff. Ah, here it is. Yeah, just Scarlet Witch by James Robinson. That's right, Aiku. Thank you. That was 3 trades, and it was really good. I know they've completed the Flash Silver Age Omnis. Is there a reason why they haven't started the Bronze Age stuff? Lots of great stories there. I don't have an answer for you, Jesse. I don't know why they haven't. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know why they started with the Golden Age. They should have started like middle of the Silver Age and then picked it up later, but whatever. I just hope we get the Silver Age and the Bronze Age. The Graveyard Book narrated by Gaiman is great. I should get that. Endman Volume 8 of Golden Age Batman is this September, and Volume 9 sometime Q1, Q2 next year. Here's a question for OmniCat.
Oh, River. You know me well. I happen to have this right here beside me. It was just something I hadn't put on my shelf yet. Yes, I've read it, and I loved it so much. It's about this little black cat called Rascal. I believe it's translated from French. And it was fantastic and so cute. And, I loved it. This woman doesn't like cats, didn't want a cat. It's just kind of like, I believe it was left on her doorstep, or maybe someone gave it to her. I can't remember. But then she has to deal with him, and he's a little kitten that's a little rascal. And there's hijinks and cuteness, and I love that stuff. And this art, I love the art style. It's very simple and cartoony, and I like that. It was great. It was really, really good. So what's up, River. Anybody else? You like cats? Even if you don't, if you like general slice of life, good stories, this is a good one.
I love the cover there with the cat innocently looking up at
in the shadow of the this is really great. Top Shelf put this out. It was awesome.
That's great.
This is also on Hoopla, which I originally read it, and then I was like, I love it so much I need to have it. So
okay. Eric W. OmniDog, do you have any favorite occult movies? The Black Coat's Daughter is an occult movie. That's my favorite occult movie. Although I like those, excuse me, what's the name of them? I can't. We used to review horror movies. Jenny and I did, but she got a new job and she's too busy now to do it. And so I'm not as up on horror movies as I was. But there's a couple of occult movies. I think James Wan is the director. That has Patrick Wilson as the dad in them. Annabelle was in that series. I can't think. Somebody in the chat help me out here. Shoot, I can't think of what it is. But Patrick Wilson's in it, and they do seances and stuff, and they help expel evil ghosts and things from houses. And I can't think of the name of the movies, but they're really good. The first one, and then there's the second one. They go to England to solve a possessed house in an English suburb. Conjuring, exactly. Thank you, Hayden. Conjuring 1 and 2. Those were good. Thank you, Hayden. Big respect to you for the Black Coat's Daughter mention. Thank you. Such an underrated movie. Yeah, I loved that movie. Loved it. I mean, that really shook me to my core, that movie. So good. And I just got the signal from my wife that it's dinner time. We've been on the air almost 2 hours answering your questions. This has been awesome.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, everybody. We even had a super chat, and the questions have been great. Really appreciate everybody's participation. Kristen, where can you be found next?
I can be found tomorrow night on the Omnibus Collectors Network at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about She-Hulk by John Byrne, which has been an experience. I'm still reading it right now, and it's been an experience.
Been an experience.
What does it mean? You'll have to tune in to find out. What kind of experience?
Yeah. I can answer this one for her. The answer is yes.
Yes, it is my kind of book. Crazy Jane. Thank you. You know me. Also, I did see that River said they have Rascal on their wish list. 100% buy it. It's great. And yeah, Cats of the Louvre. Guys, it's so good. And it's not just about cats. I have talked about it. I talked about one of these review shows, so go back to whenever that was if you want to hear me talk about it. But I convinced Jess to buy it. So
I have it, and I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. What? Hey, I'll reread it with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So you can find me on OmniDog's Vault here on YouTube, OmniDogs_Vault on Instagram, and tomorrow at noon will be the Omni Bros live, and then Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time will be the Omni Bros Halls Previews and Reads show. So that's where you can find me. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We both really appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun. So peace and love, peace and love. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment to this video. We will always answer your comments. And smash that like button, because somehow it helps me in the algorithm. I don't know what it means, but yeah, if you could hit the like button, that would help. Thank you for tuning in. This has been great.
Thanks, everyone.